Rawat, Abdulku Shayuat, Biwa Samus, Patimta. Begin all things by first utilizing the all. I am Nadi Ta'el, copyright trademark. I wanted to share something with all those who are willing to accept and receive the truth. I'm just going to get right into it and begin. Dark skin be condensed, pure white complexion. Pale pigment be purposely misclassified and or misnomered as white, pure, when in fact pale describes the absence of white, pure light energy, absorption from the sun's pure white energy rays in which the sun emits. All right? Now, just note the word arc is in dark, and if you do the knowledge to religions and those who submit their intelligence for ignorance and don't see that dark, that arc is in the word dark, and those religious individuals have their belief of the Ark of the Covenant and the power of the Ark and whatnot. That would be for those who understand that religion or that religious element. And if you do not do the research, look it up. So dark skin be condensed, pure white complexion, right? So I'm going to break that spell apart a little bit more. So it says arc and then ken, right? Ken next to ken. Not to say in my head the great Netu Seer, but nature is infinite. It's infinite, right? So ken is the next of kin. It's the recycle, the continuation of nature, right? So dark skin be condensed, pure white complexion, right? Pale pigment be purposely misclassified as misnomer white. So pale is also L, right? When you feel L or ill, you have an ailment because you feel ill, so you're pale, lackluster, lacking that luminescence, you're pale. And pigment is two words, it's pig and then ment. Pig, like a hog, and then ment, which is mine, right? So pale pigment be purposely misclassified as white when it's not white. White is pure, and we're going to get into that. All right, so melanoma be the number one cause of death for those with pale pigment, right? Those with an ailment and a pig mind, right? War with nature. These are just truths. None of this that I'm sharing did I make up. Knowledge is infinite, always has, always will be. I'm just obtaining the knowledge to apply, also to share. All sow and reap. Pig equals hog, grafted animal, filthy bottom dweller. Ment equals mine. Why do pigs not sweat? Pigs do not have sweat glands. To keep cool, pigs roll in filthy mud, not clean soil. A covering of filthy, dark mud protects pigs. Darkness, protects pigs. Darkness protects pigs. Think of that on all different levels. Pale, pigment, dark protects pigment. Anywho, how, right? So a covering of filthy, dark protection, from the sun's pure white energy, which communicates, either builds or destroys. The domestic farm pig might be the best known, but swine pigment species vary widely throughout the world. Specific pathogen free, SPF, right? Do your research. I researched for this. This term can be used to describe a pig or pigs, a herd, or a disease control program. It means that the herds are believed free from a short list of specified pathogens. Ooh, remember that word, pathogens. Right? I'm just going to say it. It's mucus, right? It means that the herds are believed free from a short list of specified mucus. Leper Amorites are pale swine species. Yes, yes, this is, you know, all right. Lepers, Amorites, all pale swine species roll around in SPF. Most of them, all of them if they're traveling, all of them if they're outside and under the sun. Yes, SPF, sun protection factor, which measures sunscreen protection from ultraviolet rays, the kind that cause sunburn, contribute to cancer. Mankind, I should have brought water in here. Mankind equals grafted human, filthy bottom dweller. And no, they have a natural sense and smells. It's distinct from sulfur. Our ancestors would speak that one would know what was traveling in the forest by standing downwind from the sulfuric smell. You'd be able to smell it. Now leper Amorites literally apply whale vomit on themselves, labeled cologne and perfumes. Now, I'm just going to make this connection. They put on whale vomit from a sperm whale to cover up the sulfuric smell from the body decaying from the sun, which affects the blood, pale blood cells, which also, I'm going to get into this, I'm just pointing this out, but I'll get into that more, but let me not get off the whale part, right? So the whale has L in it also, right? They use the vomit from the sperm whale to produce or create different perfumes and colognes. Way back in the days, they used to, the leper Amorites used to carry these little tiny still, I want to say it was a word, I can see it, but I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. It was like vinaigrette or vinaigrette, it's like vinegar. It reminded me of vinegar when I was reading it, but it was like these little things, and they would keep with them because they didn't bathe. They smell so bad. And so nowadays, vomit is from a whale is what is used, the whale vomit. The L, right, and they're pale and they're pigment, and you're putting the throw up, something disgusting, you know, that's like kind of, like I say, pig mind, a pigment that you would do. It's just connecting those dots. All right, so let me continue. All right, so words be English, right, which are concepts. All concepts be end-ish. They begin to end. It's a concept, it begins to end. English be a concept of sacred geometry, which be infinite angles of progressive cycles. ENGL and equals angle. In the word English, the ENGL is angle, right? So naturally recycles infinite sacred geometric angles. Nature be an infinite recycle of progressive, infinite, sacred geometric angles. The suffix ish on English means pertaining to the source principle. Pertaining means to account for, tain, capture. English be a concept, accounting for captured, agreeable angles, angels, cycles of white sun energy, light particles, beings, part cellular structure of the all. The prefix per means to account for, per annual fiscal profit per capita. Concepts only exist in the mind of those that consent to the consent. Members, words be bondage, not infinite. I am not accounted for as a captive, which is a person. Learning, harmonizing, in tune, wit, sound, right, reason, natural tones, and dialects, dial, is a must in unifying our universal, supreme instrumental band, our bond of musicians, magicians. It's magic. The suffix an, and the letter n, at the end of some words means inward, inside, in. What is color? The spectrum. Seven frequencies known popularly as the rainbow, which be produced by the sun's white pure energy communications. The energy from the sun either builds or destroys. You will perish from the sun's energy, melanoma, if you be not a person, as they say, or if you be not, how shall I say, because even though I did write this, you will perish from the sun's energy, melanoma, if you are not in correlation and communication with the 7 combinations of complexion, also known as skin. 7 layers of original skin communicating with sun, frequencies, right? I see what I'm sharing. The oldest definition of black-sided in the OED is the optical one, the total absence of color. Right, now I put a note in here. The total absence of color. Misnomer black Negro people of today were or are considered by some colored people. All right, so that's just a note. So the definition of black-sided in the oldest OED is the optical one, the total absence of color due to the absence of total absorption of light, right? And black means pale. The etymology, the original definition of black means pale, right? So, as its opposite, white arises from the reflection of all the rays of light, right? And the light is the energy, which are the frequencies. And white, we'll get to that. Dark complexions reflect white energy. Dark complexions, right? Arc complexions be the natural combination of the sun's white pure rays condensed. A combination. This sense of the word was first recorded in writing in Beowulf in the 700s. I'm sharing a definition, also some of my own overstanding that I worded into the definition, so that way the listener can have a better understanding. Color, an appearance, semblance, or simulacrum, which I had to look up also, and that is an image, as distinguished from that which is real, a prima facie or apparent right. In physics, a color is visible light with a specific wavelength. Black and white are not colors because they do not have specific wavelengths. Instead, white light contains all wavelengths of visible light. Black, on the other hand, is the absence of visible light. So when we're speaking on black and white not being colors, we're talking about, they're speaking about energy, frequencies, wavelengths of energy. That's what the light is. Those who fly in airplanes know the higher, closer you get to the sun. On a hot, hot day on the ground, 115, 20 degrees is colder the closer that you travel towards the sun, right? So this is dealing with frequencies, energy. They're not colors. So in the beginning of this definition, color, an appearance, a semblance. This is a color. I can hold it and touch this color right here. I know, skin different, but this is color. This is raw, in the flesh. This is nature. One and the same that I see outside, same inside. But notice I ain't saying me. Right? It's not outside of me or inside of me because I'm one with all, right? So it's outside, inside, up, down, however you want to. But this is just the appearance. This is the, what was the word? I think it was semblance that I wanted, right? Simulacrum, image, right? White, which you might overstand, but this is, hopefully y'all got that. Has nothing to do with frequencies is all I'm sharing. You get what is known as a dark shirt, right? You get a dark shirt and then you get a white shirt, right? And the dark shirt will pale in the sun, right? Because those are not energies or not frequencies, it's just images, right? And the dark shirt will actually will attract the heat, excuse me. It'll make you hotter, and you know, a white shirt will keep you cool, right? And now think about this. Pale pigment, it burns in the sun, right? Pale pigment burns in the sun. A dark shirt pales in the sun. A black shirt, what they want us, you know, but it's dark. Let's just go with the right syntax. It's dark. You see the correlation, right? A white shirt keeps you cool. Dark skin keeps you cool, protects you, right? Dark is outside of, or excuse me, black is outside of the natural system. Black is the lacking. It's lacking. Dark, there's dark white, dark red, dark blue, dark this, dark, dark, dark. Everything stems from the dark. Plant a seed in the dark soil, and it stems from the dark. As above, so below, dark. You pull from the dark all that you need to bring to the light. Right. So, dark complexion is white in commerce. And let's move forward. All right. So, black, here's the definition, etymology of black, which is an adjective, right? It's not a person, place, or a thing. It's just description of, you know, it's just a description. Let me just get that far. It's an adjective. Wan, livid, to become pale, to blacken, to become black, pale, to expose to the sun, to bleach, also to lighten. Didn't I just explain something with the shirts, right? All right. Livid, which is an adjective, right? Early 15th centuries, of a bluish leaden color, and directly from the Latin lividius, of a bluish color, black and blue. Figuratively envious, spiteful, malicious, be bluish. And didn't I just explain like leper supremacy right there? I think I did. Wow, right. And there's more. Somehow it has come to be associated with pale, colorless, the sense of furiously angry, 1912, and form the notion of being livid with rage, anemic, looking from illness or emotion, livid, with the hue of death, livid of a light, imparting a death-like luminosity, right? And what do the elites like to call themselves when you know they're not Illuminati, right? They're pale, right? But they want to be known as luminescence, or to have luminosity, right? Livid, discolored by coagulation. That was a word stuck out to me, of blood. All right, livid, discolored by coagulation of blood beneath the skin. Right, but we're going to say livid, discolored by coagulation of blood beneath the pigment. Synonymous with black and blue, blood clot, bruises, yellow, hello, original. Who is the original color? The original color, people? Oh wait, let's just read the definition of color. Color, semblance, disguise. Color is often used to disguise the hiding of a set of facts behind a sham, taking advantage of the confidence, but technically proper. Legal theory or legal right. Colorable, that which presents an appearance which does not correspond with the reality, or an appearance intended to conceal or deceive. I had another one right here. Let's just see if I can grab it right quick, because I saw coagulation, right? Act of changing from a fluid to a thickened state. Doesn't that sound like rigor mortis, right? Rigor mortis, just always in a constant state of rigor mortis. Oh, okay, where are we at? Noun, noun of action from past participle stem of, all right, cause to curdle. Yes, coagulation, cause to curdle. What's up with that sulfuric smell that secretes and emits in the whale vomit to cover up the curdling smell? This, I'm not making none of this up. Mass, what does that say? Meaning, mass or quantity of coagulated matter. Right. This is just keep going further. What's color of law? All right, mere semblance of a legal right. An action done under color of law is one done with the apparent authority of the law, but actually in contravention of law. A federal cause of action may be maintained against a state officer who, under color of law, deprives a person of his civil right. I'm not sure if most understand that, but I hope you all do. So, let's get into this book. I'm going to share just a couple pages right quick by Arnold Ehert. It's Mucus Diet. It's Arnold and his last name E-H-E-R-T. And it was published in 1912 in English. I don't know when it was originally published in Europe, but I know in English it was in 1912. So let me just read a couple pages right quick. I'm going to start with page 71. The second, all right, paragraph. The problem is this. Are the white corpuscles living cells of vital importance to protect and maintain life, to destroy germs of disease, and to immunize the body against fever, infection, etc., as the standard doctrines of physiology and pathology teach? Or are they just the opposite, waste, decayed, undigested, unusable food substances, mucus, or pathogen, as Dr. Thos-Powell calls them, indigestible by the human body, unnatural, and therefore not assimilated at all? This is written by a leper Amorite, by the way. Are they, in fact, the waste from high protein and starchy foods which the average mixed eater of Western civilization stuffs in his stomach 3 times a day? What I call mucus as the foundation cause of all disease. Remember, pathology proves that itself, stating that the white corpuscles are increased during disease. Now, for the overstanding of this subject and for the listener, I'm going to change the white of the corpuscles to pale, and you'll see why I'm going to do that. And you'll overstand the syntax and how it makes its sound. All right. So pathology proves that itself, stating that the pale corpuscles are increased during disease, and physiology says they increase during digestion in the healthy body, and that they are derived from high protein foods. This teaching is absolutely correct, and the logical consequence of the error of high protein foods. Medical science sees and must see it as normal conditions of health, and that the non-sick must have these pale blood corpuscles in his circulation because everybody has them. There is no man in existence in the Western civilization whose body has not been continually stuffed since childhood with cow milk, meat and eggs, potatoes, and cereal products. No man today without mucus. In my first published article, I promulgated the gigantic ideal that the pale leper Amorite race is an unnatural, a sick, a pathological one. First, the colored skin pigment is lacking due to a lack of coloring mineral salts. Second, the blood is continually overfilled with pale blood corpuscles, mucus, waste, with pale color, therefore the pale appearance of the entire body. The skin pores of the pale leper Amorite man are constipated by pale, dry mucus. His entire tissue system is filled up and filled out with it. No wonder that he looks pale and anemic. Everybody knows that an extreme case of paleness is a bad sign. When I appeared with my friend in a public health bath after having lived for several months on a mucusless diet with sun baths, we look like Indians, and people believed that we belonged to another race. This condition was doubtless due to the great amount of red blood corpuscles and the great lack of pale blood corpuscles. I can notice a trace of pale in my complexion the morning after eating one piece of bread. This is not the place to bring up all the arguments against this terrible error about the nature and function of the pale blood corpuscles believed erroneously by medical science. Anyone desiring a real scientific proof reading this may read Dr. Thos Powell, Fundamentals and Requirements of Health and Disease, published 1909, a few years after my mucus theory was published in Europe and later translated into English in 1913, so 1913 it was, excuse me, as Rational Fasting and Regeneration Diet. Neither of us knowing anything regarding each other's publication, Dr. Powell teaches in principle the same as I do, so far as the causes of all disease, the pale corpuscles, and all these medical errors are concerned. The only difference being that he calls pathogens what I call mucus. The only difference being that he calls pathogens what I call mucus. Now let's see if I can't find that which I had just read a minute ago, which he calls mucus, and that was reading about the pig, but I was sharing that, right? And that is the SPF, specific pathogen free. This term can be used to describe a pig or pigs, a herd, or a disease control program. It means that the herds are believed free from a short list of specified pathogens, right? And what do leprosy and pale swine species roll around in? SPF, sun protection from ultraviolet rays, which measure sunscreen protection. Oh yeah, I'm just reading, sorry. So yes, the kind that cause sunburn, right? And the sun in the solar system either builds or destroys, right? It's a soul, her. It's her system. It's a soul, her system, right? It's her system. But yet, they want to make Mother, her, Earth as, you know, misnomer, just sharing the awesome spells. Want to make her sisters his system. So it's history. And then you have man, father, the Holy Son, you know, the man, and man, right? Son, Father, and the Holy Spirit, or what is it? I'm thinking of some other stuff, but it's man, and man, the Son and the Father and the Holy Spirit, right? It's just like some sticks. It's like always sword fights and, you know, these agendas. And I'm going to go ahead and sign out of this transmission. Abud Gador, Abud Gador, Abud Gador. White power, white power, white power, white. A person having origins in any of the original people of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. And Europe was named after an Ethiopian princess, Europa, and all those with dark complexion or white in commerce. And American Indian, if you're on Turtle Island, also. Black is a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa, and none exists. None exists. So you don't want to self-identify as an individual who doesn't exist, right? Rawat. One more thing I wanted to share, and that was
blacks cannot be citizens of the United States. The American family, as Tony says, is for white people. A black man has no rights which a white man is bound to respect. Now, he's not saying blacks can be killed with impunity. What he's saying is, legally speaking, they are not part of the body politic. They are not part of the we the people that created the Constitution, and therefore they're just outside of the system.
An individual's response to the rape.
So what I wanted to add on to that was the fact or the truth is, those who are outside of the system are, in fact, truthfully, the leper Amorites. The system is nature, the natural system, which is the solar system of recycles, sun cycles, and all of the energies, because everything is energy, we're all energy, all of the recycling of energy, right? And the sun either builds or destroys. The number one cause to make the leper Amorites perish from the face and surface of the planet is the sun. Now, I just wanted to share this note. This message is just to share the truth, not about hate, not about anything other than just sharing the truth. You know, the dark is what leper Amorites and most are afraid of, right? As above, so below is dark. You plant a seed in the soil and it stems from the dark, right? Now, I just wanted to share something that I recall from my youth, right? Experimenting with plants. In the dark is when the fruit is produced. So when we wanted to just, you know, make the plant grow fast, you would just give it a whole lot of light, you know, synthetic light, mostly, of course, because we're using lights. But to make the plant fruit, you would give it, you know, 18 hours of darkness, right? So it stems from the dark and then it produces in the dark. A lot goes on in the dark. And I just wanted to share the correlation of what I'm speaking right now in the video that I was sharing with you pertaining to blacks being outside of the system. They're just not a part of the system at all, right? So accepting to be outside of the system is what you accept by accepting the contract and the title of black. But the spin on that, the opposite side is the heavy side for the most, or leper Amorites, that to accept is that they stem from the dark. All things stem from the dark. So they're afraid of the dark, and they're afraid to accept and share that and let it be known that they stem from the dark. And being on the surface in the light, sunlight, that is the number one cause of death for them. So it's ironic in a sense. And that goes to show and prove and give evidence that leper Amorites' pales are outside of the system, right? If you just heard that video, you know, they're outside of the system of nature completely. And yep, again, that's just truth share. Abid Gador, Abid Gador.